Now let's modify our example based on what we learned today. In the previous lecture, I used title here and author here, and then I renamed it. Now that we can use this pointer, we can have parameters with the same name as data members. So I'm gonna use the names that I originally used, and here I'm gonna use this to differentiate between data members and parameters. So the variables on right hand side are parameters and the left hand sides are data members. Similarly here, even when we don't need to differentiate between different variables, using this makes our code more readable. So I'm gonna run the code to see everything is fine. As an alternative for the implementation of print function, I think we could also use the get functions now that we learned a way to access the pointer of the object. So I can use get title, get author, and get number of pages. And again, we use arrow operator because this is a pointer to an object. If it was the object itself, we should have used point operator. So we can have this implementation as well. Now let's try to overload comparison operators for this class. We don't need to overload comparison operators inside class definition and as a member function, because when we overload an operator as a member function, we can only pass one argument. But we want to pass two arguments, so we are going to declare these operators as functions. So the return type of these functions is Boolean, and then we will have operator equality, and then we are gonna pass two objects of this class, left book, and then a reference to right book. To simplify the code, I'm just gonna use a string comparison and compare the title of two objects. Similarly, for less than, I'm gonna return the comparison of titles. And now we can define the rest of the operators using these two operators. So I'm just gonna copy this part. So for not equal, we will return not left book equal right book. The next one is greater than, and we are gonna just switch the two operators. The next one is less than or equal, which is the complement of greater than. So we are gonna return not of greater than. And finally, we'll have greater than or equal, which is the complement of less than. Now let's try to initialize the first object with a similar name and print the results of comparisons of these two objects. These two objects doesn't have an equal title, so the first one should be false, the second one should be true. And then we have less than or equal. B1 is less than or equal B2, which is correct. The next one is a typo. So this one is false. And then B1 is less than B2 is correct, and the last one is false. We can also declare a vector and try to sort it using these operators.